actually live this time. I think, yep. Okay, all the audio is recording. I did it. First try.
Let's go, Kyle. My goat.
God. AJ, you getting in on this one? Oh, no.
AJ's gone.
Yeah, no, he said he did say
AJ, you gonna get on this one? I look at the camera and it's blank.
He did say he was going to shower, so that's fair. He'll jump back in later. But we got the college crew in here today. We're talking about CRL. This is going to be kind of a wrap-up of, I guess, like the regular season for CRL. I don't know if you could really call it that. But, you know, prior to the national championships, we got... I'm K-Cube. We have DJTJ in the top right. I got to point the right way. We got Valk down in the bottom left. We got the Dream Team here today. You guys ready to go?
Yes, sir.
I don't know about Dream Team.
Yeah, well.
Alrighty. More like the Z Team, bro.
Yeah, this is gonna be something.
He's back.
Oh, nope. He's gone again. He was back briefly, and now he's gone.
Wait, I didn't even see.
He just walked by and waved to his camera, and then continued walking in the same direction.
Oh my god. All right. Our audio levels chilling. Are we good to get this thing rolling?
Yeah, I think we're ready to get things going. Neon was saying that the levels are a little bit low, so I just need to like talk into my mic. Actually, that would be helpful. And I think you guys are good to go. But without further ado.
Hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, your go-to place for everything Rocket League with your hosts, K-Cube, AJ Binky, and Red. So lean forward, lock in, and get ready to go Boost Over Ball.
To listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, we'll be talking about CRL, and we'll finish off with some roster rumors that we haven't talked about yet, and we'll take a break from the fact that all the orgs are leaving. So... First and foremost, congratulations to TJ getting engaged, having a big casting weekend. For people that don't know, you ran the community broadcast for CRL. How was that?
It was incredible. So the whole community thing is more than I thought it was, because not only is it something that like only CRL casters got approved for, at least to my knowledge, but then it turned out to be like, not only do you get that, but then you get your stream on the StartGG page, you get obviously the Liquipedia parts for it, and then also like I am listed as a tournament admin on the CRL page right now if you go and look. So it's a really just like more than like, obviously I'm there just to click my stream name and that's all I get to do with the matches, but it was really cool being like on that side of CRL after being on the outside for so long. So yeah, it all worked out really weirdly. I was supposed to be engaged the weekend prior, but the weather had kind of messed that up. So then it made it to where I was in Dahlonega on Friday, in my hometown Friday night, back in Dahlonega Saturday morning, in Athens Saturday afternoon. It was this, whole thing, but I wouldn't change any of it. It's been an incredible weekend, and yeah, happily engaged, and I got to wrap up CRL quite nicely, I feel like.
Certainly. And I mean, even so, that was Saturday, right? You had the community broadcast on Saturday
and Sunday. Yep.
And Sunday too, because I mean, Sunday you peaked at over 100 viewers. Saturday was pretty similar. Did you were you solo casting? Were you casting with anybody else?
Yeah, so the original game plan was I got the message from Mateo that he was going to approve me, and I was like, holy shit, it's go time. So the only caster that I thought of, because obviously all the big dogs are doing CRL, me and Bepic have a very, very long history of doing tournaments and events together, so I was supposed to get Bepic, but unfortunately Bepic was out of town. Well, not unfortunately for him, he worked the Peach Belt LAN, because he coached his Huntington Rocket League roster to a top 3, which was awesome for him. So I'm glad that he had a good weekend. So no, it was me. I soloed the whole thing. On Saturday, we had a 6-hour broadcast, and we had 98 viewers at one point. And then on Sunday, we had a 2.5-hour broadcast with 100 viewers at one point. Or sorry, 109 viewers at one point. So my averages and my Twitch stats look really good. And doing that solo felt even better. So it was cool.
That's awesome. I mean, I know that, when I was tuning in, I tuned in and out for the weekend, but it was a great great broadcast. So congratulations on that. You're slowly like inching the door open in the CRL scene. But
Doing my best.
I can't imagine how difficult it is with as stacked of a lineup as there is for RLCS and CRL stuff. So especially with them giving out titles in game for like CRL analysts and stuff like that. So I'm sure
Watch it be gray.
Yeah.
It's the same color. Watch it be the same color as the RLCS one.
I think the CRL one is green.
That's good.
Are you getting
a tag? Are you getting a tag, TJ? Did I tell you you're getting one?
No, unfortunately not. Now, if I do end up actually getting on the desk, we'll see what happens. But also, I haven't seen CRL tags be passed out since.
I was gonna ask you that. Are they doing CRL tags this year?
So they did do the CRL and RLCS admin tags because I saw that Kendo got his.
Deserved.
So if they're doing that, yeah, very deserved. So if they're doing that, I don't see why they wouldn't do the CRL caster tags and analyst tags. Unironically enough, I think that all of them already have those tags, because I think they all worked back in like 2020. When was Danger and Bass's first year? Was it 22 maybe?
22 it was.
Yeah, I believe that's when it was. And so they got their tags back then, so I don't think they had to worry about it because they were the only ones doing it. I might mess around and ask about it, but we'll see. I might need to pity email Devin Connors because I was also trying to get a Rockets Engaged tag too.
Oh, nice.
That would be sick.
That would be cool.
Would be dope.
Cube, can you send me the Google Doc, by the way?
There isn't one.
Yeah, that's what I told you, Valk. I said there isn't a doc.
Yeah, no, we're going through it. We're just winging it, kind of. Even though
I'm following Kyle's lead.
I know what we're talking about here, but so I guess I have to, since we have you, DJ. We've talked to AJ and I've talked about it. Valk has talked about it. How do you feel about the new, like, more open format? There's not conferences. There's like it's basically like RLCS but CRL.
Yeah, I have to be mindful about how I word this because of the spot that I'm in.
This is fair.
But I will say that whenever it first got announced, I was a little hesitant seeing the fact that it was very high risk, high reward. The top 8 gets points, and that's awesome. But not having points be extended below that made things this semester like extremely interesting. Or sorry, technically the points extended to top 16, but we're talking 1 point no matter if you place 9th through 12th or 13th through 16th. So I don't really even count that at that point. So that was a little interesting for me seeing that. I personally do like the open format. I think RLCS showed us just how crazy it could be when K-Corp sold London away. And then we saw St. Clair Green almost throw their season away too, which is something that we'll talk about in rankings later, I'm sure. So I personally like it. I think it is the best for content. I mean, I got a 6.5 hour stream on day one, and for my side of things, it's great. Now, from the player side of things, I'm sure that a lot of them are not happy about it, and that's totally understandable, especially if you're one of those teams who hovers around like the, let's say, 32 to 20 range. Like, for example, like a Southern Miss, or maybe a Michigan State, Boise State, Missouri. Those are all schools that are very talented, and maybe they wouldn't make the top 8, but I do think that there should be something to distinguish that they did deserve some sort of point, maybe 1 or 2 points, saying that they did make some very good runs, because being 1 or 2 matches out of the qual match and not receiving any benefit is pretty absurd.
Yeah, I mean, that it certainly seems that way. But I think I broke.
Yeah, would you break the broadcast?
I guess I did. Okay, well, I'll take us out of studio mode and I'll just fix it. But I'm trying to get AJ in here. We're working on it right now. So that this is people.
Wait, you're taking it out of studio mode?
What I will say, I'll comment on the format when I get back, TJ, because I got something to comment on that. It's like, I was the same way when the format came out. At first, I was like, all right, well, we're just getting rid of the league play we know and love. You know what I mean? But then of course, I played in it with my B team. And yeah, we were at one point in in qualifier 2, we were literally a match away from getting a point. And yeah, you get nothing from that, which sucks.
Say it did open the door, at least for colleagues polls,
I
to
like it.
matter a
No,
little bit more.
I like it
Yeah.
because it literally made it so, like, my team, we upset GVSU. So that was like a huge upset for our B team. I was like, yo, boys, like we just upset like a known A team. Like, good job, guys. Like, let's go. Next game, Ball State kept it close, but we did lose, of course. The games were pretty close, but like what I will say though is like since we've played in that as a team, my B team, we're so solid, so solid, and like what I will say about like the league play is it's like it's like the one and done, like one high stress night. If you qual, like awesome, cool, you're qualled. If not, it's like, well, you got all semester to think about it. But with the open, it's less. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what I would prefer would be some form of earlier start in the year, and then maybe we get 4 opens into an extended championship of some kind. Like maybe that championship involves Swiss, or maybe that championship involves a longer bracket of some kind. I don't think my issue is with the first stage. I think it's with the back half. But granted, like for the top 16 schools, it really did come down to the wire. Ball State almost completely sold their way out. And so that was like really fun, and I got to see that both Fisher matches live on my Twitch where they got reverse swept and upset, and then they lost out on top 8. Like those moments are very special, but there's definitely some asterisks because again we're talking about 6 hours of Rocket League, and especially for teams who, if you make it to winners finals or grands technically in that bracket, and you fall out down to losers, then you have to wait like 2 hours, almost like an hour 30 minimum before you play again. And obviously there's so much talent in the losers bracket that it honestly, I think, is a disadvantage to go all the way to winners finals if you're going to lose. So that was something I thought was really interesting. I think that's what happened to Fisher because they imploded after the Concord reverse sweep. And then they should have never lost to Akron Gold. And I love Jan, I love Milio, I love Oxy, love those guys. But they should have never lost that game. But I do think that because they had to wait so long, and then, there's a lot we could talk about the Fisher Rocket League history this CRL season, because I know they've been through a lot. Who knows what was in play there, but the wait definitely didn't help.
Fair. So then, like, with that, and you talked a little bit about Akron Gold, you talked a little bit about, St. Clair. How do you feel about having multiple teams from the same school able to be represented in CRL? Like Akron Blue and Gold, St. Clair, in open number 3 had 4 teams make the top 32. Stuff like that.
Yeah. I was pretty okay with the 2-team rule. I think having 2 teams per school be able to make it into the main stage was reasonable. But that was also when we were talking about qualifying for league play. So with this format specifically, I actually don't mind it. The fact that St. Clair Academy, I love Kipper and True and that whole crew. Those guys are awesome. I got to meet them in Kentucky, very nice guys. And so like, I know what they're capable of. And that goes for any 3rd or 4th team across a lot of schools who have shown out and have been incredible in the past. So for this open, like it's in the name, it's open, so it's got to stay that way. I was happy to see that this year, and like if St. Clair's got 4 teams that performs incredibly, then good on them. I mean, someone's got to set the standard. Now, whenever we had Northwood Blue and White like playing each other in like top 4, maybe that was where I drew the line. And it is hard to draw that line again, especially after how well St. Clair Gold was doing recently.
Make a rule. If you make it to the semifinals and there's 2 teams, one of them has to forfeit.
Well, I mean, CRL always did a good job making sure those teams played each other when they needed to. So I do respect that. And I think that if it comes down to that, I think if we live in a world where top 8, like let's say Northwood signs 3 really good teams, then only 2 per school should be eligible to make that final stage. And if that's how it works out, that's how it works out. But yeah, it's an open. It has to be chaotic in that nature. It's got to be no restrictions.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, because I kind of like the conference play. I think that's kind of cool. It, creates rivalries, like geographic rivalries, similar to how you'd find for, like we like to use college football as an example, right? Like Georgia, Alabama, big rivalry. And if if both those teams have, high level Rocket League teams and they also play each other, that's just great for the scene because, college fans are just some of the best in the world in terms of supporting their teams. So, building rivalries like that, I think would only help and is one of the many reasons that like CRL is, I think, one of the more sustainable models for Rocket League right now. And, Valk, I know we've talked about this off camera about how like CRL might just be more sustainable than RLCS. Maybe it's not to the same like caliber right now, but like definitely you're always going to have kids in college. You're always going to have kids that play Rocket League for now at least. And, there's always going to be a pretty decently high level competition for it.
Yeah, no, and something I will say is like, I'm not saying there's never going to be an RLCS, because there always will be an RLCS. There's always like that'll never go anywhere. Like there always will be an RLCS, but there never will always be a peak RLCS, if you get what I mean by that. Like I mean, I'm not trying to like make anyone scared at all, because RLCS again is not going anywhere. But at the same time, I do feel like we are coming to a point where if you were to gamble, and again, no one's gambling on anything, but if you were to gamble on like what's going to stay around longer, or like what it's maybe better to put your money in, I guess. Not even bet your money in, but what's just going to stay around longer, I definitely would say CRL, because there's always going to be kids in college. I mean, the one thing, though, barring is that they keep running CRL, because, again, they could just pull the last semester and just be like, yeah, we're not running CRL. So that could always happen. But, again, there's always going to be other college leagues for esports. And I think it will always matter at a collegiate level. Like, colleges will always care about their esports team if they're doing well, if you get what I'm saying. But can't be said the same about new orgs and big orgs coming into RLCS. But I can say the same about colleges getting esports teams, because it is very popular in a college. A lot of colleges, like for them, an esports team is like just good, very good for everything.
I mean, it's sustainable.
Yeah, very. It's also something that like, and like it doesn't matter like if you're out of shape, in shape, what you look like anyone can play. And like I'm not saying that sports aren't like that, but they are like that.
And like we've talked about it before, it's been a long time since we've had this conversation on the podcast, but like if you're a big school and you have a computer lab for, CAD, for graphic design, for anything like that, you have computers that can run Rocket League. You just do. Like you need a high level computer to be able to run some of the graphic design programs Rocket League can run on a potato. So, you already have the computer labs, so it's really not hard to like increase the the usage and like having an esports team. And like if you have one esports team, you could have a ton of them without having to do very much. You don't have to expand very much. You just need to have players that play. And then naturally, as you have a team, people are like, oh, they have a team, like I'm good at that game, like I was gonna go there, but like now I really want to because I can play on this team. And like there's like some natural growth built into that. But certainly it seems to be more sustainable. Certainly it seems to be more forgiving to universities and esports programs than it has been to orgs recently for Rocket League. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. So the World Championships this year for RLCS was better than last year. I think Blast did a good job, once they kind of got the ball rolling. Maybe I'm hoping it will be the same thing for CRL. I'm hoping, it just took them a little bit of time to get everything, kind of moving in the right direction. But, hopefully we'll see CRL Worlds like we did last year in the spring. I think that would be awesome. But again, we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, everything I saw this fall was all green flags. I mean, we didn't see a single RLCS caster on the desk for CRL. That right there was like, that was my main, like whenever I saw CRL get announced, that was one of the first things I put in my tweet. I said that the whole point about collegiate esports is the community and the people who basically enslaved themselves to this community, which is something that I'm obviously very familiar with. Obviously, Valk, I know you are too. Like with the amount of work we put in, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be putting our best people forward, but there is people who, for example, like I think that it's not crazy to say that Danger could be an RLCS analyst without a problem. And I would say that Bass as a play-by-play caster is on par with a lot of RLCS casters. And I admire that about the CRL community, and I'm very happy that, like, yes, I do wish that maybe a Corelli or maybe a Hercules could have been involved in some capacity, but they shouldn't have been the front runners because of their involvement at the highest level. So that was my main thing. From a production standpoint, the graphics, the design, the flow of the show, the fact that they did keep it apart from RLCS in terms of the producers, the observers, and how they decided to do, like, even like the replays, which is something that, like, I just started to notice the more I got to watch CRL mainstream. And so I'm really excited with what they did. And again, like, they had, I think, God, who were the two? They had Zodic, and then they had Just Staying Alive. I think that's Jack as the producers and the observers, and they did an incredible job. And they did get the chance to do some RLCS work as well. So that's a good blend, a good example. But to see Bass, Danger, Seb, Vaudable, that was awesome.
Yeah, I feel like CRL has always been showcasing talent, showcasing, both from a player and from a talent perspective, a caster or, like, producer standpoint that isn't necessarily established in RLCS, right? So you see some of the RLCS current casters and analysts and talent came up through CRL, through RLRS. There were more avenues for people to gain exposure, and I'm hoping that's what CRL goes back to, because I think it's a fantastic way to find new talent, find new casters, and showcase that community ability. Yo, what up?
I raised my hand because one thing I will say, and I know, like, I'm asking a lot, but one thing I will say is when they do Bundle Bash next time, they select the same people again, I might have a little bit of an issue with it. I hope that CRL, like, I hope that they genuinely, like, stop, and this is no offense to anybody, and if I get hated on for what I'm about to say, cool, but I think it would be nice.
What's new?
I think it would be nice to not have the same 16 people or 20 people sometimes in the spotlight, and maybe start, I don't know, like, not the same 20 people in the friend group, maybe start, like, avenuing a little bit, because something I will say is if they keep doing that, the same people and over and over and over again, it will get stale. And that was the cool part about CRL back when the first Worlds happened, second Worlds happened, is because there were so many teams popping out of nowhere, so many coaches, so many subs, managers with personalities, so many players with personalities, and, like, that was, like, really interesting to see. So I do hope they just have a little bit more variation on some of the media. And again, it's very early. Like, I'll be honest, Blast hasn't even had Rocket League for a full year yet, so I'm not giving them too much criticism. I'm letting them figure it out, because, I mean, if you look at League of Legends, they've been operating esports for how long? Like 11, how many years? Like 11, 12, 13? I don't know for certain, but I know it's definitely somewhere around there.
Lots
It
of
takes time. It takes time. It takes time to perfect it. One thing I will say, though, is that they should stick to one format and keep it like that. Stop changing it every year.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, too.
That's really bad for orgs.
Yeah.
I've talked to so many, like,
well, you can say this too, because that's not a crazy take. The orgs themselves have been tweeting. And we're gonna get to that later, I think, right, Kyle?
Yup.
Okay, so I'll save a lot of my thoughts, but the fact that we got org employees tweeting is kind of nuts. But back on CRL, I want to make sure that we keep things online
I'm
glad
talking about CRL with the format. My bad. I should have.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind.
I should have. Yeah. I should have clarified. I'm saying, like, for CRL, like, the next time someone needs to make, or you know what they should do? They should make a poll for the next CRL season.
Oh, Lord, I don't know about all that.
maybe not just a poll, but they should, like, not make it just one person's decision. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, you don't think?
I do wonder who decided that. Yeah, I do
that's
wonder.
What I'm saying. Like, you don't think it wouldn't be helpful to have, like, just to name some names here: Polch, you maybe.
I would throw all of the CRL casting desk. You could throw the whole colleague group in there. Honestly,
like people like that, with the guy that also makes decisions. And I think that they all need to come together, like meeting of the round table type stuff. And yeah, I think they need to decide a format and then stick with it. That way, people could plan, colleges could plan, like that'll be much better for sure. And like even, I mean, at my college, like yeah, like there were definitely questions of, oh, is CRL happening? What's the format going to be? Is there a LAN? Like there's a lot of questions for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up talent searching in collegiate too, because like I truly do feel like that if there's a world championship that comes around, like I would see absolutely no reason not to include a B stream of some kind with like the people who team streamed this year like consistently. I think it was Pyro J, I think Kev Dog was there, I think what's his name? I think Whoops You was there. I know that I was obviously there for all of them, or at least for the back two, because I was at LANs for the other two. Like those, like us, Bebek, like I feel like that in terms of the people who are right outside looking in, who put in an insane amount of work for this whole community as well, or just like some of the casters who are on the colleague poll as well.
Yeah,
I
think
don't
there's
see like
definitely
why
some
that's not
people-
an option.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some people that you just named that definitely deserve it. That have been in the scene casting for 5-6 years.
Yep.
But again, only some of the people you said. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's
but
why I didn't say my name first. Yeah.
Honestly, if you said your name, I would have said yes. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, bro, like, not to glaze anything, but I definitely, this man gave a TED talk. Like, come on. Like, I know a lot of Rocket League casters. No disrespect to them, but I know a lot of Rocket League pro players, casters, managers, people that can't give a TED talk. That's insane. But anyway, back to CRL. No, yeah, I definitely agree with you, but. I don't know. I think that, like, here's what I will say. If they ran, you know Beyond the Summit, of course, right? Remember those events?
I'm so glad you brought that up too. That's what I was gonna bring that up later. Yeah.
So what happens, like just theoretically, all right? Theoretically, what happens if someone did like a Beyond the Summit, like college-wise? I know that would bang. Yeah, you can't convince me that wouldn't.
I'm so glad you said that. Yeah. Wait till this spring. That's all I can say.
Where's my invite? That's all I can say.
We'll talk after. There is a LAN that did happen this year that isn't going to be able to do exactly what Beyond the Summit did, but we have a lot of ideas and plans to make it in the style of Beyond the Summit. We were going to do it this year, but the problem was that...
Is there a go-karting track? I'll pull up just for that.
Oh, I honestly I have no idea. I have no clue. But we were going to do one of the LANs I worked this year. We were going to do the entire style of production and interviews and like stupid games in between. Like we had the full idea. We were gonna do like Mafia with like CMOS, Crispy, No Mansion, Cos, like that's the stuff that I want to go for, which I'm very, I was going to mention that if you didn't, about the whole Beyond the Summit thing, because that right there is like exactly what I imagine when I imagine this community and just how fun it can be. Unfortunately, it didn't happen this year because we lost an executive producer the night before, so it kind of chalked a lot of ideas, but hopefully in the spring, cough, cough, ahem, ahem, March, April range. Hopefully we'll see something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's like usually one of the draws of college sports for people is the personality, the fact that a lot of the people aren't, media trained or being like org conscientious, right? Like the fact that like they don't have to worry about like ruining a brand, right? They can be themselves. I mean, I think about like Arizona State, right? When CRL was first coming onto the scene, like Planting Cargo. I don't know where I pulled that name from. It's been a long time, but he wore sunglasses in all of his interviews. He was always the one that he's like, let me do a post-game interview. And he was always like, talking some shit about, the other team and like how good they were. And, they didn't win any championships, but like that's the kind of the thing that people want to see, right? You've seen the success
shout
of
out Alex Storm 8, North Texas. That's the first one that came to mind for me.
I mean, like, you see the success of, like, Receiver, Quarterback on Netflix, the Drive to Survive for Netflix, Full Swing for golf. There's a hockey one now on Amazon Prime. Like, that's the kind of content that people want to see. Like, especially the people that are invested in Rocket League, they're invested in Rocket League. I'd love to see, like, some behind-the-scenes stuff. That would be hilarious and awesome. So, I think Beyond the Summit style LAN would be very well received by the community.
Yeah, put me on a go-karting track with all the CRL players. Watch what
Yeah,
happens.
hopefully I'll have some exclusive news to give out in a few months. We'll see.
But with that being said, the two questions, we talked about it again, Valk and I talked about it, but why in the hell is it best of 3 until finals?
Yeah. That
What?
losers bracket best of 3s are kind of absurd.
If you're making pool play, it should be best of 5 at least, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Again, it's
Valk, you
first
start.
time with this.
Yeah.
So we got to give them some patience and leniency. I mean, me personally,
That was the PR answer. Now
When
here
I
comes the
was-
real answer.
when I was
Yeah.
15, I could have made a better format. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's okay. Like again, man, like the more I think about it, like you gotta get behind them. Like you're not gonna get anything if you're just like constantly like, yo, like what are these guys doing? Like you gotta just try to like give it the patient approach. Like you know what, like not everyone does it perfect the first time. Is there anything I can do about it by complaining? Absolutely not. But you know what? I like that. That's kind of just the way I think about it. Like, what I will say though is it is discouraging for players, especially that have been playing since before there was a Worlds. You know what I mean? It like since like OG CRL players like. It's discouraging for them a little bit because they're like, dude, I used to play in a league format where we had a Worlds at the end of the year. Now we have a best of 3. Like you know what I mean? It can get a little discouraging for them, I guess. But I don't know. That's
Well,
what I'll say
hopefully
about
whenever
it.
Worlds in the spring, because we still haven't heard anything about the spring, so there is a lot of room. I think Blast did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because maybe this was purely a trial run, hence why we did have best of 3s. And also, I will say this, like, for the poor staff, like, for Blast, like, I mean, for all the TOs, like, again, like, 6-7 hours with those best of 3s still, like CRL's blown up, and that's awesome. But that also means that I think they have to make cuts for time, and I don't know when else they could have done the cut for time.
See, sadly, someone
B
would counter
streams.
exactly with what you just said. Someone like what you just said, like the multiple hours of having to do that. Someone could counter exactly what you just said and be like, and that's why we had a league play.
Yeah.
Like someone could say exactly that. That's why it's like I thought about that too. Like someone said that to me, and they were like, well, yeah, like the Blast employees, they could do that for multiple hours, and I was like. That might be a little bit of a reason why they did the league play is because they got it all over and done with in one day, and then they have a whole league that they can plan for.
Well, I wasn't even talking about like day 2 and all that
Yeah,
stuff. I was
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
day 1. So
Still,
like
times
like
four,
Kyle, to what
know
you
I mean?
said.
Like there's 4 different
Yeah.
events.
Yes, like Kyle, to what you said, like I'm not talking about a B stream or an A stream. I'm talking about like the general flow of gameplay
Yeah.
throughout the qualifiers because like I do think that maybe there could have been an extra best of 5 round. I think one extra best of 5 round would have made sense, and I think that would have made a lot of people happy. Because like with all due respect to the teams who were in those other rounds, like they're not making top 8 most of the time anyways, unless we're talking like the Akron Gold or Akron or like
Or,
St.
like,
Clair
Ball
Gold,
State.
like
I mean,
oh yeah,
like,
you're right.
Like
Or
in
like-
pool
or
number
like-
4 for open
Or like
open 4.
Stockton.
Yeah, or Stockton. But like Ball State Black loses to St. Clair 2-0. And like that's, I mean, 2 games is really hard to like right the ship and like come back in a series, right? A reverse sweep after 1 game is crazy. Like lower semifinals I feel like could have been best of 5, and then really my biggest gripe is how are you going to make day 2 best of 5s until grand finals? Like cuz
That's also fair.
it's also been like it's been noted in like at least in my opinion on the outside looking in, right? CRL is trying to be as professional as possible. They're trying to bring in the same type of talent that that RLCS has, right? They brought in Relating Wave, they brought in Speed, CMOS, Crispy. Like there's a lot of RLCS players that are playing in CRL. And with that being said, Rocket League has said no timeouts, best of 5. That's just not how it works. So you're telling me you're going to go through the entire tournament, make it to grand finals, and grand finals is the only time you're allowed to take a timeout? That seems crazy to me. If you're trying to be as professional as possible, at least like lower bracket round 1, totally fine. Like do best of 5 still, that's totally fine. But you get to like, I guess it'd be technically like quarterfinals, upper bracket semis and lower quarters, like make it best of 7. Like that's where you get, Game 7 Champions Field, like, Maryville Akron, I think Akron Blue would have been an awesome series to see go like 7. Same with West Virginia, Illinois State.
We lost to Davenport. We actually beat Davenport in uppers, lost, and then lost to Davenport in lowers in best of 3, like OT. And I like Top Cheese literally said, he was like, bro, like that's one of the series that we lost the first 2 games, or lost the first game, won the second game like an insane amount. Third game literally hit the crossbar like 30 times. Might as well call me Harry Maguire. Should have won that game, but like, and then it's like we lose, and it's like, bro, give us the best of 5, because that's like the qual match 2, day 2, 2 top 8. You know what I mean, TJ? Like,
wait, are you talking about this season?
Yeah.
Losers finals was best of 5.
It was one match before.
Yeah, no, that is what I'm talking. That should be a best of 5. That's losers semis.
One match,
or no?
Losers semis.
Yeah, no, it is losers semis. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, that I agree with.
And with that. My bad.
And I was gonna say with day 2, I agree that I think losers finals could be best of 7. I don't know about as much best of 7 as you were saying. I don't know if we needed to see losers semis go to 7, especially with bracket reset
semis,
too. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Bracket reset makes it really hard.
Is losers semis in RLCS 7 like normally or no? Ooh.
I'm not. Well, the format
I don't think
changed.
it is.
So I don't think so.
I know. Here's something I will say. If it's a finals, losers or winners, I do think it should be 7. I do think that's just the nature of playing in a finals, whether it's losers or winners finals. You're in the finals. Play like it's the finals. That's why I do think it should be a best of 7 because I mean that's just my personal opinion.
I'm with you there.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I mean, also, and then the last question I have on CRL: what is it with CRL and bracket resets? I think every single open event this year has had a bracket reset, either failed or otherwise.
Yeah, no, I mean this is officially the best CRL that we've ever had, and there's no debating it. Like this right here is the ultra comp CRL that I think everybody dreamed of, and for the teams who like were part of the old guard, like maybe it sucks. Like for example, like Northwood, they had a lot of adjusting to do, and even though we did still get a Northwood victory, it was not easy, and it was definitely still deserved. So no, this is just the future of CRL. I'm here for it. If we get a bracket reset every CRL event for the next years, then why would I ever complain? Yeah. Even with like Maryville dropping out, we got a Concord St. Clair series, which did go to bracket reset. So that was something that was awesome too.
All 4
I
opens.
realized what you meant. I just realized what you meant by this is the best CRL season ever. You mean in terms of like the games and like how close they were and the stuff like that. My bad. Sorry.
Well, I mean, there's a lot that we already talked about that I think obviously proved that point wrong. But in terms of this is the absolute best in terms of entertainment and in terms of competition.
And that's
like
what
this
I like
is
about
it.
The open format.
Yeah.
The cream rises to the top.
Mm-hmm.
But so for people who haven't been watching us closely, we've had 4 opens, we've had 4 bracket resets, we've had 1 success and 3 failures. But 2 of those being all the way to Game 7 bracket reset, second series losses. So certainly a lot to look forward to, a lot to like about that stuff. But now I guess we could have a little bit of fun. So we now know our 8 teams that are going to be headed to the national championships. So we got Northwood University, I think it's Northwood Blue, Concord, Maryville, Akron Blue, West Virginia, Davenport, St. Clair College Green, and Ball State. Notably, Fisher would have made it had they not lost 9 points for an unauthorized roster change. So with that being said, you guys got a power ranking for the 8 teams that are making it?
I'm gonna let TJ go first, and I'm gonna make mine. Give me a second.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say this off rip. St. Clair Green and Ball State are both going out first. Like I don't care that St. Clair Green got a finals run. I genuinely think that they are like Ball State got some pretty fraud results, and to get where they're at. But I think St. Clair Green could be in contention for the biggest fraud team in all of CRL this year.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, that's my hot take.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you, I'm not here to judge you. But I mean,
All right.
Fisher would have beat them out had they not, made the roster change. So I get it.
Yeah.
So they were the last team to solidify their spot at the Nationals. So
Wait, am I stupid?
I mean, Ball State I've doubted before, and they ended up proving me wrong. That's why I'm willing to say that like in my quote unquote power rankings, I actually have St. Clair Green. Like in my colleague rankings, I have St. Clair Green at 11. I have Ball State at 9.
okay.
So I don't even have them in my actual top 8. And then from there, I got Northwood, Maryville, Concord, Akron Blue, West Virginia, Illinois State, Davenport Black.
I'm gonna need to grab something for my my.
You have Davenport
for
one?
give me 1 second.
No, Davenport was at the end.
Oh,
they
I'm
were
sorry.
they
Yeah,
were the
okay.
6th.
Sorry.
They were the 6th team in the top 8.
I
They've
went
just
the other
had
way around.
That's a roster that I think that if they weren't filled, like for example, like Brock is like a grinder when he wants to be, and that's it. like if Brock was on like cam hours, I think Davenport's like probably top 6. Or sorry, they already are 6 in my mind. I think they're probably like top. They could beat Illinois State.
Davenport is 6
They could
in
beat
the ranking
Illinois
too.
State. Yeah, they could be a potential, like they could take it to West Virginia. They could take it to Illinois State.
Illinois
if
State didn't
they-
make it though.
Yeah, but I have Illinois State higher than Davenport Black because in terms of just like my results that I was going off of, and especially like half recency bias, I still think that's the better team. Just because Davenport Black has just not looked like confident or strong, really. Other than that, yes, they did get the clutch win that they needed to over Illinois State to also save Ball State. But I think you could throw Illinois State, Ball State in a mixer, and just whoever gets the better bracket pull would be the team that you'd rank higher, in my opinion. But
I like that. All right, so I had to get I had to do the special shades for my my thing because I just wanted to be super analytical. I don't know if you see these yet, TJ, but
I'm
What
a
do you
little
think it
scared.
is?
I've seen them before. I'm already worried for my life.
you've seen these before? How?
Yeah,
I
did
just
you
got
did you
these.
not wear them on the last video that y'all recorded?
No.
I would
never
have
busted-
sworn.
I've never
Maybe he
busted
pulled them
these
out
out.
after we were done recording.
No. These aren't mine.
All right, well then maybe I'm thinking of something else. All right, never mind.
These are new.
Well,
So-
I mean they fit you perfectly. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna start from the bottom. Last, I'm gonna put Davenport. Noah. No reason why. I think they're gonna get last.
Okay.
So 8th. Davenport's 8th.
Yeah.
Okay.
they're
Okay.
eighth.
Just making sure.
So, looking through the rankings, like, wait, what team Dirtho? What team? I know they didn't make it. What team does Dirtho play for?
Dirtho's on Boise. I think unfortunately if Dirtho was on a different roster, he'd probably be a top 8 team player.
Yeah, I like Dirtho. He's probably the only Rocket League player that he go karts a lot too. Actually, man. So
And he's jacked.
Yeah. Me and him would have a good race. So 7th, I'm low key. I heard your. I was listening to yours, but like, hear me out.
I'm hearing.
7th is Maryville. Hear me out.
Whoa.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. And then I think it's gonna be Ball State. I think they're gonna do well. I think they're gonna upset Maryville, low key. I just think it's gonna. I think they're gonna have it in them. I think they upset Maryville out of nowhere. That happens. You could find me.
We'll keep
And
receipts.
after
Yeah,
that-
that's fine.
Yep, we will.
Yeah. You keep receipts. And then so I think Concord. I think they're gonna do well. I'm not actually having them get out yet. So I just wanted to tease.
So you're just saying Concord without a ranking.
Yeah. Wait a second.
I just wanna. I was gonna.
Oh,
I didn't go-
because he's looking at the matchups already. I got you.
I am.
I got you. I missed that part.
Oh.
I missed that.
I
part.
haven't even done that yet. I just did my objective top 8.
Oh wait a minute! I'm starting over. Actually, I wasn't looking at that. I'm starting over.
Yeah, I was just doing my straight up top
So,
8.
Alright,
Yeah.
so Northwood Blue versus Ball State. So like,
Yeah, let's do it this way. Who?
Yeah,
Let's
let's do that way.
predict our bracket. Here we go. Northwood
go.
Blue, Ball State. Who's winning this one?
Northwood 4-0.
Wait, did you say Ball State?
I hope you're trolling.
Watch
I
it
pray.
happen, bro.
Just stop talking.
Northwood Blue is gonna win that. Nah, TSM
Yeah.
got that.
TSM
some
got
slight.
that.
And then
Yeah.
Akron Blue, West Virginia.
This should be cinema. This should be the cinema match.
Low key, I'm saying Akron Blue. You can find me for that.
I don't know, man. Akron Blue. Oh man, they had a pretty rough awakening against Northwood, where they got reverse swept to kick the day off on day 2.
I like Patty and I like 5-Up.
I love those guys. Yeah.
Leave it to Patty.
But West Virginia is like unironically like the most consistent gatekeeper in all of CRL, and I don't see, like, yeah. I don't know. If Akron's ready to go and Patty plays as well as he has like the last 2 quals, then I think Akron gets it in 7.
I think this is the best series
I'm willing
of the
to
first
say
round.
Akron. It is for sure.
Like, it's not close.
I played against WVU myself, so that's just going off of that. That's just going off of like, and it was like somewhat close. Again, they could have not been trying. It was during summers. It was the summer series, and it was somewhat close. So they could have not been trying. So who knows? But
that's
why I
you
said
look at that
Akron Blue.
team and like Angel Tool
No, I'm
Daunt
only saying that
versus
'cause I
like
played them. I'm only saying that because
Yeah.
I played them and we went to game 5. And if I had more experience with top cheese and deck, who knows?
yeah. Well, I was making a point that I'm glad you said that because like if you look at that team on paper, you wouldn't have them winning against Akron. But I also could say that against almost any upset that West Virginia has gotten all year. Like on paper, that West Virginia might be like 5th or 4th easily. Or actually, wait, where are they right now, Kyle? 4th?
Yes.
Yeah, I think on paper you could
No, they're
argue
5th.
that
They're
they
5th.
are.
I'm sorry.
Oh, they
fifth.
are.
They're
Okay,
fifth.
sorry. On paper, you could argue that they're like maybe a little bit better than like an Illinois State, is what I was gonna say. But I don't know what it is, but the way they play and their chemistry, in terms of any team in all of Collegiate Rocket League, they just gel like no other than like maybe like a Northwood with Lion Blaze. So they're gonna come out really strong, and I think they're very poised to make a losers bracket run. Or sorry, wait, there is no losers bracket.
Nope.
Okay, well in that case, then I got West Virginia
Yo,
losing
lock
out.
in, TJ. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm not casting, so
So
Single elimination. All matches are best of 7.
Yeah, I got Akron.
We got Northwood and Akron in the top.
Okay.
So going
Who's
to the
winning?
bottom-
Who's winning Northwood Akron?
We'll get there in a
Northwood.
second. Yeah, I was gonna say Northwood too.
Okay,
I mean,
so we have
that's just a-
one half of the
that's
bracket's
just a good
done.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Concord, St. Clair.
Concord without a single doubt in my mind. Yep.
Okay. Maryville.
Concord might genuinely own St. Clair Green by the end of that.
Maryville for the
Yeah,
next one. Hear me
Maryville
out,
without a
hear
doubt in
me
my
out.
mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Concord, Maryville.
The fact that they have to play in semis is absurd.
Hear me out. They're gonna get there, and Concord's gonna realize, yo, we got the opportunity to take it to these people who've been in the league for multiple seasons, and we have the like Concord. I'm not. They're low key giving me like Peeps vibes because they did low key come out of nowhere. Am I wrong by that?
In terms of
picked
their
up
CRL
Simas
presence,
and
yes.
Crispy,
Yeah.
but-
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the players. I'm not saying
Yes.
the players.
Yes,
but
they
like-
did.
I'm saying
Yeah.
like the terms and point of like they.
They're not like a collegiate powerhouse esport team.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I got you.
that's what I'm saying. Like previous to this season. That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
they're not Northwood. They're not
Anyways.
Akron. They're not.
Yeah. I will say this about that matchup. I personally think that even though Northwood has been the most consistent team this year, I honest to God think that should be our grand final, Concord Maryville. Now, here's the only concern that I've had. So I've watched, combining Concord and Maryville, I have probably watched like 50 hours of their gameplay because of the team stream and the community stream, and I've seen Concord on multiple lands, obviously Speed and Relating Wave and Night. They've been all over the place. So I like my analysis here because here's where I'm going with this. If you're going player for player, band for band, right? I would choose Concord and CMOS any day of the week. And CMOS arguably could be CRL MVP by the end of this tournament. Now, here's the next problem, is that the biggest glare, and I made this point on my channel too, the biggest issue with Concord is that their chemistry, because they play a very gung-ho style, has been rough. Like, they have sold crucial games on day 2s because of a double commit or because of even like a triple commit or like just overall panic. And I've just seen them do it
because they're new. They'll lock in.
No, I'm not willing to give them that excuse anymore, though. It's way too late for that. And I've seen them do it on both LAN and virtually, which now makes me aware that this is something that is genuinely a team problem for them that they have got to figure out before they play in 2 weeks, pretty much.
Also, this is an online event, too, for people that haven't been made aware of that. There's no LAN. It's online.
Yeah. I am going to see the boys on their home campus, on their home turf this weekend, and I'll see how they do against pretty, top 48 mid-tier talent. And we'll see how things go. But if they can at least start to iron out and actually become a dominant top 3 team instead of a fringe top 3 team, then I'm here for it. But if the results of CRL are anything worth noting across all 4, even when Speed had to sub out, Speed and Relating Wave as a duo counter anybody in CRL, and Knight is extremely underrated. I would say Patty levels of underrated.
Give me Buddy back. No, I'm kidding.
It's Knight used to play against the team that I coached, so I get it. He's a fantastic player. It pains me to say that because he beat up on my teams, but
yeah.
I don't know. So you're saying
I'm saying Maryville wins that.
Okay.
As of right now, as of November 5th, I got Maryville. But I think it could change. I want to root for Concord so bad, and I will be rooting for Concord.
Okay. Valk?
I put Concord.
Okay.
I think they'll pull it off. I honestly think they'll pull it off. I think they'll figure it out.
So then I'll go Concord then. So then we have grand finals of Concord and Northwood Blue.
Who are you going, TJ?
Northwood, again, they've been the most consistent team. Now, I will say this. I love Helix. Unfortunately, I think he is going to be exposed.
I thought you had Maryville going through.
No, I did, but we just said, did we not just agree with that? Are we making group or individual predictions here?
I didn't know we were making group or individual.
I thought we were doing group.
Well, we were doing group because we agreed on everything until that one.
Okay. I'll say this. For mine specifically, I think Maryville gets the edge on Northwood because they've lived and they've learned after that grand final, and I have yet to see Wave and Speed make a mistake after they've learned in North America the first time.
See, this is why I wanted to make individual. You go first, Kyle.
I'll say this. If it's Northwood versus Maryville, Val, could you have?
Concord's winning the whole thing.
No, but if that was if it's Maryville Northwood, who wins that matchup?
Maryville. Actually,
I say Maryville as well.
It depends on the version of the players that show up on the day for Northwood. If it's the version of the players that really care about the result,
if it's TSM Northwood, if it's not TSM, then not Northwood.
I was about to say,
I would still pick Maryville. I'm gonna say that.
Okay,
maybe, but anyway, beside the point, I have Concord winning the whole thing. I think Concord's gonna I think what will happen. Here's what I think will happen. I think Maryville versus Concord is gonna go to 7. I think it's gonna be a 7 OT, and I think Concord's gonna pull it out. And I think they're just going to be so hyped. They're just be like, boys, let's win this. And I genuinely just think they're going to take the opportunity in the grand finals. Not saying that Northwood doesn't, because, again, Northwood's, they're 100% in every final they've played in CRL history. Am I wrong about that?
Say it, who?
Northwood.
No.
Yes. Wait, in CRL history?
No, they lost to Akron Blue in Open 3. In a Game 7 bracket reset.
Yep.
1-0 game.
Yep.
Well, that just shows how uneducated I am. So prior to this season, though, I
got a lucky click on that one. I was like, I was
counting like big finals, like
I don't even think you can compare those because CRL is simply not the same.
It is. You're right. Still though, like I don't know. I think Northwood versus Maryville. Fine, you know what? I'll agree with you, Maryville winning, but I honestly think Concord can win the whole thing. I think Maryville versus Concord is going to be close, and then I think they get to the finals, and I genuinely think Concord is just like, we have the opportunity to do something that no CRL team has done in quite a long time, And then if they lose, they're just Stockton at the first CRL Worlds. But anyway, besides the point.
Damn.
I mean, again,
But he's not salty.
I have dreams. I have hopes and dreams that my boys at Concord win. I would love to see those guys, like
Yeah, we do too.
director Johnny included, with CMOS, Crispy, and Helix, and I'll even throw Tay in there, the sub. I'll even throw him in there. I would love to see those guys do their thing, but unfortunately, I think Helix has to play like a rank X player that day for them to win the whole thing.
He got it.
And I love Helix, but I haven't seen it yet. I've seen him play rank A level, and that was the double best of 7 reverse bracket reset, whatever the hell, over St. Clair Green. But also St. Clair Green looks like a fraud win because of the way they've done. So I don't know. Concord's been in a weird middle ground where they did place 3rd in the last 2 events, and they are right there. But I don't know if they have it in them to finally make those final adjustments because of their team chem issues, and Helix would have to play like Jesus himself, I feel like.
I got faith in the lads.
Okay, so Valk's got Concord. TJ, you got Maryville.
Yep.
And just for difference sake, I'll go Northwood. But I do think Maryville will win. So,
yeah.
We'll
see. I mean, I would, again, for the Americans to win, as long as an American's winning, I'll be happy. So we'll see.
Oh, my.
Yeah, they couldn't do it in RLCS. Maybe they could do it in CRL.
I would hope so. It'd be really embarrassing. Because I believe Knight's Canadian, isn't he?
Nope, Knight is from the US.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So wait, who am I thinking of? Who's Canadian on Northwood?
Fraud behavior when it comes
Is
to
someone on
RLCS,
Canadian? Is someone on Northwood Canadian?
Well, Creams is
Welsh.
Welsh. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think. That was
I
so
got
bad.
you.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
I'm looking. Sosa is Canadian.
That's who I'm
for
thinking
Fisher. Christine from St. Clair Gold.
Christian.
Yeah,
Yep.
Christian.
Wait
yeah.
a minute. I actually changed my answer. Hockey's
What?
playing the long game. They're winning it all.
Who?
Hockey's playing the long game. They're winning it all.
Oh my god. We're so done. We're so chalked.
Yeah, well, it's part of it.
Nah, I actually just checked my DM from hockey, and it literally says we're playing the long game. They're winning it all.
Jesus.
It wasn't.
Well, we'll
he's
see.
He's not watching. It was in a question I asked to something else, and he responded. We used to have an inside joke. He had videos of it where when they beat what's it called? When they beat oh, I'm really drawing a blank. OG, when they beat OG, like he made an edit saying like he's playing the long game, and I think he put like Nolly's picture with just like X'd out of his head in it because I think they were going at it before the game. He was like, "Nah, I'm playing the long game," and it was just a clip of the whole series of them just like murking.
I mean, look, my heart wants to be proven wrong. I would love for either like of all the people in CRL who I know care about it and actually like would have wholesome aspirations to be a part of the scene, I think, and I hate saying this, I think anybody other than Maryville is our best pick. Maybe other than like St. Clair Green, because I know they're not as involved either. But I know that their gold and their academy rosters are, so I'm willing to give them a pass. I just, as an analyst, I don't see how Maryville doesn't win it.
That's fair.
But see, that's the thing. The stats are usually what lie.
It's all a lie. It's all a lie, Valk.
You're right.
Okay. Well, I guess we could touch on it now before, we're at like the hour mark right now. We have some roster rumors. There's not a lot to go through, but they talked about it on the Chalked cast. They used a really good analogy. It's like there's a bunch of birds sitting in a pond, and one bird flew away because they thought they saw, a predator, and then all the rest of the birds flew away. The orgs are leaving Rocket League, leaving RLCS. TJ, what are your thoughts on everybody leaving? Are we dying? Is the esport dying?
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't extremely concerned until I saw Gen G's executive, G2's executive. I believe TSM maybe had somebody speak.
Yep.
Like, I think almost every org who did leave, I even saw Cloud9 executives talking about it too. Like, seeing all the orgs not only say that there was change, but then literally go on tangents publicly about the exact things that need to be changed. And then, like, under Arnold's post with Gen G, I saw other org execs having full-blown, like, conversations with him about what they want to see changed in the league. And, like, to me, that is crazy. Like, I'm here for the transparency. We need that. But the fact that it's coming from the org owners directly and they're so okay with things at this point, I think that shows that they're kind of their heart's out of it. And why would it? Or, like, why would it not be out of it? Because Rocket League's been unprofitable for a hot minute. Like, Ghost pulled out of Rocket League for a reason. I can say that much.
I mean, it's so, like, painful to watch because, like, from a, like, accessibility standpoint, Rocket League is probably one of the most marketable esports in the world. It's E for everyone. Not a lot of them are. There's no violence. That is not the same for all of them. It's very easy for the casual to pick up, put ball in net. It's free. Like, it's so accessible. And for them to not be turning a profit in some capacity is a tragedy. Like, there's a lot of things that need to be changed. People have known this. But, you know, G2, it looks like they're going to be fielding a roster, but in Europe because they're a German organization, so they're just not going to field the American roster anymore. So,
and it'll probably be a bubble team if that. I don't think it's going to be a main roster.
Haha. Roster rumors.
Okay.
I got some more stuff on that one, but
all right.
And it's been rumored forever that tier 1 T1 is was looking to enter Rocket League, but after having talks with various rosters in North America and Europe, T1 has decided to end their pursuit of signing a roster for the 2025 season.
Yep.
Like, why would you not? Cloud9 has
surprise
said
me one bit.
Cloud9 has said they're not going to field a roster. TSM said that they would like to be back, but you know they don't know. Luminosity said that they would like
a little bit.
Fair.
Sorry, my bad.
Luminosity has said that they would like to be back, but they don't know. You know, there's a lot of turnover right now. There's a lot of uncertainty for orgs. There's a lot of uncertainty because Epic and or Blast, I'm just going to lump them together. I have no idea who's really responsible for doing that, is not, you know, being transparent or talking to the orgs or helping them out in any capacity. But, you know, certainly for the sustainability of the esport, you kind of need orgs to help supplement some of the player income so that they can, you know, be the best player that they can. But, you know, it's something's going to have to give, and I'm not sure who it's going to be from. Like, even BDS, like, I think that's the craziest example.
Yeah.
BDS has won 2 world championships in 3 years. They won Gamers 8 or Esports World Cup Rocket League.
That's unacceptable. That is no.
Yep.
Like as soon as I saw BDS leave, like, do you know how? I'm gonna say this right now. Yes, if I'm scaring people, I'm sorry. What esport, and you can debate me on this, what esport in history has a team came second in 2 world championships, won, and then decided, yeah, I'm good on that? I don't think that's ever happened in any esport. I genuinely don't think a team has ever won a world championship and then said, yeah, we still didn't profit. Sorry, guys, we're done.
I believe you're right.
And
Like,
also
I
on
don't
top
think
of
that's a
that,
thing.
there's no way that Monkey Moon and Exotic were full free agents, right?
What do you mean?
Like, Vitality picked them up.
Yeah, I believe they were partly restricted. I think they were allowed to look for options. They just had to be approved by BDS, and I think Vitality got the buyout of their contracts. I think
That's what I'm
happened.
saying. So you won 2
Yeah.
world championships in 3 years. You won Gamers 8. You're also getting some form of monetary compensation from a buyout for your 2 best players on your roster.
And you're
There's-
still
and-
needing to make a tweet.
And you're still not making money. You're still not going to pick up you're still not going to do a space station and pick up, like, you know, the Snowmen.
Yeah,
Even though that's, like, not fully confirmed, but, like,
who knows?
it basically is confirmed. But, like, you know, there's this is a whole different conversation. This is a whole different can of worms. This is a whole thing. You know, we got till January to figure out what the hell is going on with orgs, with teams, all that stuff. Now that, you know, it originally looked like NRG was going to pick up LJ First Killer and, you know, a third, which based on dominoes, I think I know who it might be. And now NRG is going to pick up former G2. It looks like. But we're also we're transitioning into roster rumors here too, because we'll lump this in. But as of right now, I believe it was reported like 2.5 weeks ago that the Oski Itachi Alpha 54 was going to be a team. However, and the only reason I can think about this is because Alpha 54 is still under contract with Vitality. Alpha 54 is no longer on that roster. I feel like his buyout had to be astronomical.
Would have been disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh no! You know who their third is rumored to be, and is rumored to be picked up by G2? Nas.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
The chair is gone. Itachi Oski Nas is rumored to be the roster that G2 is after in EU. So then,
Gentleman's Ball is no more.
Yeah. No kidding. But so because of that, right, because Nas is making the jump back to EU, I think, right, it's still not confirmed, he was the one that was trying out for the LJ First Killer third. That's who they wanted. You know who the second player that they wanted was Hoxer.
Yeah. Jesus. My Lord.
So now I think it might be LJ First Killer Hoxer.
I mean, they need a consistent third man pretty bad there.
Yes, they do.
So I mean, Hoxer, that would be his moment right there. I don't know. I'm not opposed to Atomic there either. I've
heard that he did try out with them, but I've heard that was just for Esports World Cup.
Interesting.
So maybe there's some FIFA E World Cup thing about that. They can't just pick a full team because it's less fun. But I also don't really know what's going on with that. I don't know who the manager is. I don't know when the close qualifier is.
That's still a whole. That event confuses me a lot.
Yeah, I don't. That's a whole nother can of worms. I'm not really entirely sure what's going on with that. But, whatever. Also, G2 is in the process of securing a title sponsor like G2 Stride was last year, but it's not going to be Stride. So after announcing that they didn't have the money to roster a team, a tier 1 team, it looks like they're moving to Europe and they're going to roster a tier 1 team. So I don't really know what's going on.
I mean, I don't blame them. Stride, I love the guys who work over at Stride, but Stride also, like, their tournaments didn't go nearly as well as they should have, given the amount of money and consistency that they put in there. So that's unfortunate. But maybe they'll be back with another team for maybe some minor stuff, like maybe some like $100 events or something like that instead of the, what was it, 300, 400, and then with like a big $500 event at one point. And the ladies' nights events, too. That was a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Also, I would like to note that Achilles posted that Nas is expected to team with Itachi and Oski. And Fabian from Vitality tweeted, Alpha is absolutely not in contract jail. We are more than facilitators here, so stop the narrative that we are holding him hostage.
Stop. Yo, actually, something I really want to touch on really quick. Did you guys see, Alpha Cap was getting, like, shade. I don't know. I think it was from Achilles.
He was
getting shade.
Wait, what?
Alpha Cap was getting shade from Achilles because Alpha Cap, I don't know if you've seen, but Alpha Cap's been, like, posting and tweeting, like, doing that.
I thought you said Alpha as in, like, Alpha 54.
No.
Yes, no, that was really funny.
And they were giving him shade, and Alpha Cap was like, dog, you're getting on me for free speech. Like, let's be real here. I'm allowed to tweet whatever I want with my own opinions, and something I will say on that is, say what you want about Alpha Cap, me and him have had multiple conversations, and anytime I talk to that guy, it is straight laughter and vibes the entire time. Like, that guy is actually, like, a nice, I really like Alpha Cap, honestly. Every single time I've talked to him, I've just been straight dying the entire time.
So
no, sorry, that was just a quick side note. But
it's
I just think that's funny that like even the people on Twitter that are announcing stuff are arguing. Like that's the point we've reached.
Yeah.
Well, that's the level of content that like you're missing RLCS content. You got to find it somewhere. So Alpha was basically like taking the tweets from Achilles and putting them in his own tweet, and then crediting him in ats instead of like quote tweeting his like his stuff, and people were like furious with him.
Well,
Like,
I'll make a point. I'll make a
Stumpy
hot
was
take
going
on
off
this
of
real
it,
quick.
and like Stumpy
Yeah.
was going off a bunch of people.
I'll make a hot take here. I thought originally that Alpha was joking, and then he continued for like months to like genuinely try and start like sharing roster mania news, which like that's fair game. Like if Alpha wanted to start sharing rumors that he was finding out and all that, that's fine.
I hate to say this, but I think Alpha Kev is a perfect person for that. I mean, with the amount
Yeah,
of
I'm not-
experience that he has.
Yes,
in
yes,
pro,
I'm agreeing
and
with you.
And also the fact that he is literally like, he's like the Charles Barkley of RLCS right now, in my opinion. Like he used to play at the professional level. I'll say professional level because I do remember the years where Alpha Cap played on Xset, and he
Yep.
was actually filthy, like straight filthy in my opinion. And no, yeah, like I don't know. I really like his takes. I think his takes are very, I don't know. I think some of his takes he like doesn't glaze specific teams. I'll say that. But
Well, here's okay. No, so I'm glad you said that because this is what I was about to get into. Is that look, I don't have a problem with that, and if he wants to start trying to do a little bit of journalism, yeah, he is a really good person for that, given his standing within the Rocket League community. Now, here's my problem: is that I don't think that he started doing that. And this is like my hot take, I guess. I don't think he started actually providing actual personal takes and content until after the whole Twitter feud started. Whenever I saw those first few tweets, like I wasn't gonna sit there and be like, "Oh my God, Alpha Cap, you terrible person, how could you?" But like, I'm gonna be honest, like if I was Achilles, I'd be pissed too, because that is a little ridiculous in my opinion. Like Alpha should be a platform, but for his own stuff. And if all he's gonna do is just copy paste Achilles, add quotations, and then add his @ and then he didn't provide any context on some of those first few tweets or like his own opinion, that bothered the hell out of me.
Fair. I mean, because like Achilles is doing.
I never saw that he copy and pasted like exactly what it was.
The first few, that's what happened. That's why Stumpy got outraged. Is because the first like 3 or 4, that's exactly what happened. Was that Alpha?
I did see Stumpy comment, and Stumpy did immediately get like low key political and going off on Alpha Cap, and I'm like, all right, guys, this is not what we need.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean it was a big ordeal, and it was definitely handled poorly by I think everybody who went to Twitter to do that. Now, granted, if Alpha, here's what I didn't know. I couldn't tell if Alpha was joking or not whenever he first did that. If Alpha was joking, then, fair play, and it worked as a form of content really well. But my problem has been now that he's like genuinely, or not problem, I guess my question is that now that he's genuinely started like tweeting about Roster Mania and like genuinely trying to provide updates and stuff, that is awesome. That is cool. And I think that people might be hating because of what happened previously, but I don't know. With given Alpha's content, I cannot tell if he's being for real or not. Genuinely.
Fair. So to go along with that, did you see Arsenal's tweet about like the Roster Mania stuff?
If you quote it, maybe I'll remember.
So it says, sources, Arsenal will be LFT heading into RLCS 2025 season. Dignitas is allowing him to explore his options. Which players could you see Arsenal teaming with? And it's a picture of himself playing, but he tweeted it.
Yeah, like that's funny.
That's hilarious.
That's the positives of what Alpha started. Is that like I know plenty of friends who started tweeting out like random rumors, and like I have one friend who's on Twitter is JGeezy. I'll throw out my boy Jaden from UTK. And he had, I think, 4 tweets that got 20K impressions at least about Roster Mania. And they were just like, some of them were like his actual opinions, and some were just like outlandish takes that people believed. Like literal like butt crack sports type of stuff. And so that that's awesome. I'm glad Rocket League has that in the community, because I think that's a cool little heart. Like a little more heart in the community that we needed, especially given the fact that there isn't a lot of content over the off season. But I was mainly just saying that whole controversy, I think, happened for a reason, and I'm glad that it seems like we're out of it now.
Yeah, we need something else now that we got CRL Nationals coming up. Thankfully, we got some other events that are being run this weekend. There's one, maybe at Concord. I don't know.
There is one at Concord. That is
definitely
confirmed.
invited to, and we can't go to, unfortunately.
I know.
Sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, I'll say this: everyone in the top 16 of CRL, I believe almost everybody was invited, and I think everybody said no either because of school financial issues or because the fact that CRL nationals are literally, or sorry, the fall championship is literally the weekend after.
Yeah, see, unfortunately, my A team entirely wanted to go, but we couldn't. Hurry up.
Yeah, we talked about
your
that.
thing to
What
comment on.
I will say is, for future events in CRL, like collegiate events, what I will say is for colleges, I like to tell this to people that are organizing events. Like, I always get this question, like a very important question, like how long in advance should we announce the event? I honestly say like 4 months. Like, dude, I know that's a while to announce the event before 4 months, but like,
That's not crazy.
You got it. Nowadays, you gotta tell these universities 4 months in advance if you want a 100% yes. Because $20,000, $30,000, yes, universities make a lot of money, but sometimes it's just a lot for them to be like, all right, yeah, let's drop that.
I will say this because as somebody who will be at that event, I do want to make sure I comment on this. It's not Concord's fault. I can tell you that much.
Oh, not at all.
The biggest fault with collegiate esports and the timing of these events is the fact that the varsity leagues and CRL is included in that conversation, not just like NECC, ECAC,
CCA,
NACE, all that.
Yep.
The biggest thing is that they all have this long list of sponsors, all this money. Like some of it comes in day one, some of it comes in halfway through, some's at the end. Like there's too much variability in the business of esports that causes those events to be delayed. And that goes for talent too. Like luckily I know the Concord team well enough to know that event was on the radar and that they were at least like thinking about me for like a couple months because they had to get all like the financials together and whatnot. But yeah, I just wanted to obviously, Valk, I know you're not blaming Concord, but for the general listener, I want to state that.
I should have started off by saying that. Like,
that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like that's just like the ecosystem of collegiate esports, 100%. Like that's just
it's a good point that you bring up though because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely Stockton won't be going there, but what I will say is the next event that comes up, like the one in Cincinnati that happened last year, I forget which one.
Oh, are y'all going to that?
Well, if invites already went, then no, because we didn't get invited.
A Queen City Clash, I don't remember if it's invitational or not.
Where is that one?
That's on Cincy, or on Cincy's campus, I believe.
If there is when is that? That's in February, right? That's like...
It's coming down the pipeline. I can put you in contact with their guy if I need to.
Please put me in contact and tell them that I grew up in Cincinnati, and it is like my dream. Dude, I'm being so serious.
Valk, if you play, I'll come watch you.
We might all see each other in Cincy.
Here's what I'll say.
That's a 3.5 hour drive for me.
There is
easy.
a Rocket League LAN in Cincy, and I get my A team to pull up. I could get 150 people easy that I know in Cincinnati to pull up and literally chant Stockton University. Like literally, dude, when I used to play soccer, I literally would tell our student section what to chant. Because I liked it so much, I can get my student section from high school varsity soccer to pull up and to treat that like a student section, like chanting like that. That would throw off so many teams. I don't care what anyone says. I know that would. That would.
DM me on Discord so that I don't forget. But I can get you that contact.
Spam you.
Okay, lovely.
Okay, but that was the last major topic that I have. So now, as tradition, we got to do it for DJ, and we'll do it for Valk too. We're rolling out the red carpet. What do you got going on? What do you got coming up? Where can people find your stuff?
I'm gonna let TJ go first.
No, Valk, you got it first.
No, you go first.
No, you got it, Shotty.
No, you got it, Shotty.
Okay, all right, fine. All right, so
wait. Are you sure you want to follow him up?
Oh yeah, shit. That is. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Actually, yeah.
No, that means you should go ahead.
No. You go first. You go first.
Okay. All right. Whatever you say.
Mine is different. Mine's like not esports related.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone's gonna see me live from, I believe, the ECAC Esports Twitch this weekend, November. What's this weekend? The 9th?
Yep.
So you're gonna see me that Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday
and
the
Friday night.
Saturday the 9th, Sunday the 10th.
And a little bit of Friday the 8th. I believe we will have something going on that night as well. I don't know about that exactly yet, but you'll see my tweets about it, and me and Vaudable will be doing all the coverage for that event. We got a pretty awesome Rocket League group. Should be a great top 8 double in bracket. And then also that ECAC Campus Series event has Call of Duty and Street Fighter 6 as well. So you'll see me and Vaudable casting not only Rocket League, but we'll be doing a little bit of Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
That's awesome.
As well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You'll see me there. I also I do get the honor of working the Alabama High School State Championships with Mr. Bepic. So you'll see that in November. There's a really cool event that goes on at the University of North Alabama that I'll be tweeting about eventually. And then I also will be working the county and potentially state championships for Georgia as well. So that's another thing that I'll be tweeting about if it happens. We'll see how that pans out. But either way, you can find me on everything at DJTJRL on Instagram. It is TJ and then another J and then Stevens, the PH. If you want to see my awesome engagement pictures, you can go there and see those. But yeah, that's my socials. That's what I got going on.
Jealous,
and then
low-key.
just getting ready for and then just getting ready for maybe there's a world where if CRL needs me to fill in for the fall, I'll be there. Or maybe if there's a funny world where they need me in the spring, I'll hopefully be there. So we'll see. I got a lot of other events in the spring that I can't say yet, but we got a lot coming down the pipeline. It'll be fun.
Hell yeah. Okay, well, his links will be in the episode description, as always. But Valk, what you got going on?
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to follow up, but so, I don't know if you guys know who Crim6 is, but recently in the racing world, like real cars racing, not Rocket League, it's been something very informed to take, like, people that have been racing for a long time, but also have been playing video games. Again, if you guys knew who Crim6 is, that's like the COD
former
player,
COD
Crim6,
pro,
like, yeah, like, huge name. He now races for Porsche and is, like, one of the best drivers in Porsche like championship, which is crazy. And a lot of the people in racing have been saying like, hey guys, like maybe there is more to playing video games in terms of reaction time and decision making and being able to handle high stress and high pressure situations. So I kind of use the same method, and I might have gotten myself a drive in a Formula 4 team coming this spring, so I get to go drive Formula 4 cars in Homestead and also Sebring, which is going to be very cool. So I'll be making a little bit of money, probably. I don't know. Hopefully I win. Hopefully no one kills me. But yeah, I mean it's going to be very competitive. I mean Formula 4 is there's people in there. I mean, I'll put it this way. Max Verstappen raced in Formula 4 once. Like, all of the F1 guys, they've all raced in Formula 4 once. Everyone starts somewhere. Not that I think I'm going to make Formula 1 at all, because I'm definitely not. I'm using it as a way to get my name out there in the racing scene, hopefully do well in my couple of races, and then find a sponsor or drive in something else, which is how it usually goes, just in the racing scene. But, yeah, that's cool. Like, real-life racing instead of cars. I don't know. That's pretty interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, super interesting. Way more interesting than the stuff I got going on. I got a podcast. Full stop.
No, but the best podcast in all of Rocket League, though. And I'll say esports, too.
Oh, man. I don't know about that. That's some high praise.
I definitely think it's Rocket League, no question. No offense to any other podcast. I said it.
Oh. But you guys have anything else that you want to add? Also, Valk, where can people find you? Where can they find your awesome content?
You can find at the boost over _ ball. Go check that Twitch out Wednesday at 8 p.m. because we might have a little collab going between Stockton Esports right now. It's where you can find every Stockton Esports stream is over boost over ball, and if they're unavailable, it'll be announced probably with someone else that's part of the friend group. That you can follow. Definitely go check that out because that's also exciting. A lot of cool stuff happening there and some interesting series, but also that and just my Twitter, Valkyrie RL.
Okay, well. Your links will also be in the episode description as per usual when you join us for an episode. So, you guys have anything else that you want to mention before we wrap up for today?
Valk?
Nah, Chief.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just blessed to be in the position that I'm in. I mean, everybody in this Rocket League community allows me to pursue my dreams. So I'm just happy to be here.
Hell yeah. Well, with that, we'd like to thank everyone so much for listening. We'd like to please remind everyone to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, join our Discord, and rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our Twitch, which we're live recording on right now, our TikTok, and our merch store. I added some new hats, some new crew necks in various colorways. Also, all of these links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball.
Thanks for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website at boostoverball.com.